guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for the love and support received on my last video, and if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head over to our channel to check it out. Well guys, happy holidays, welcome to December. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. I am so excited for today's video, you have no idea. Guys, Booktok is popping off with the trendings right now, and I'm absolutely living for it. And one of the most popular trends, as you've seen from the title of today's video, is talking about books that you would reread, rewrite, or burn. Just burn it to the ground. So this is going to be that book challenge for you today. I've seen quite a few Booktokers do this. As mentioned before in this channel, I've talked about Jamie before. I've talked about Mariana, or Mariana. I think that's her name was Marianne. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. She is Queen of Queens, mother. I completely trust her book taste 100%. I'm such a fan of both of these Booktokers, and they're both fabulous. So I have to give them both credit for the idea for today's video. Seriously, it would not be here today if it wasn't for them, and I saw their videos and I was completely inspired by what they had to say, and I wanted to give my 2 cents on the topic. Obviously, there are some books, like even my most favorite books, that if I could go back and if I could talk to that author and be like, you need to fix that, you need to rewrite that, or if I could just be like, burn the whole thing, start over from scratch, I would. I absolutely would. And today I am putting Booktok's most popular books through the ringer, okay? Like, I'm gonna be stone cold, I'm gonna be hard and heavy, and I'm gonna go for it. I also might have some opinions you guys don't agree with, but those are just my opinions, so if you don't like it, you don't have to say anything, or you can. Let me know in the comments what you think. But I am absolutely so excited for today's video. But before we get started, I am so excited to talk about our new segment that we've been introducing into the last couple of videos. What I just finished reading versus what I am currently reading. So, as you guys know, I just finished reading The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. Guys, 5 stars. I want to just say something really fast to everybody in the planet Earth who is listening to me. For anyone who is sleeping on Carissa Broadbent, like anyone who's sleeping on her, wake the frick up.
Wake up. Hey, hello, Chrissy, hello.
Okay, Carissa Broadbent is now in the pantheon of best authors I have ever read. She writes some of the most guttural, rotted, beautiful, deceptive, like earth-shattering stuff that I have ever read in my entire life. And this book was no different from any of the other ones. I am such a big fan of the Serpents and the Wings of Night duology. This is a continuation of that duology with a side character that we meet in the first couple of books. And it's about her journey and essentially her healing journey after she was abused, and she talks about what it means to her to be a vampire and also to have this other desire to stay true to who she was in her past life and accepting a new version of herself. This book was all about rediscovery and about acceptance and all about just healing that just happens throughout this book, but also it's just it's breaking apart, reading her journey and reading about the journey that she and Asar, the main male character, go through. Oh my gosh, they have both are just some books are just tortured. They just have characters who are so tortured in them. Misha and Asar are so tortured. Just unbelievably tortured, and I love to read about tortured people. I really do.
Ew! You're a sicko.
And she just gave in this book, just giving and giving and giving. It was heartbreaking to read. I cried probably the last 50 pages. To be honest, I couldn't even tell you why exactly. I just sobbed my way through because it was just so heartbreaking to read. Honestly heartbreaking. I cannot wait for the next one in this duology that she's created. I know it's going to be guttural and I can't wait to read it. But 5 stars for The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. One of my favorite books that I've read this year. Probably maybe even my favorite. I loved this book. And then to go along with that, what I am currently reading is The Road of Bones, which was on my list for the year. I told myself I had to finish The Road of Bones by Demi Winters by the end of the year. Guys, I am actually really close to the end. As you can see, there's Cassian peeking out. I only have maybe 100 pages left of The Road of Bones. I've been really enjoying it. It's this Viking fantasy book essentially.
You can't lift a hammer, you can't swing an axe, you can't even throw one of these.
Okay, fine, but this will throw it for me.
And this girl's journey along this very dangerous road to get to a safe place, like in the north. And she like tags along with this like warrior clan of like Viking crew who's like super bloodthirsty and scary, but she ends up like joining with their group. I am really enjoying it. I am still really confused. Demi Winters is doing a thing in here, doing a little sneak thing. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read this yet, but she's doing a little sneaky sneak thing here. And I'm like, where are you going with this, sis? Like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if I can trust her.
Trust you. You think that I should trust you? Yes. Where has that ever gotten me?
I have not decided how I feel about this book yet. Like, it's been so funny. My friends have been asking me, they're like, what do you think about the book? And I'm like, to be honest, like, I don't really have an opinion yet. Like, I still am like, I don't know what to think of this book. I feel like the last 150 pages are going to help me decide if I am like in love with it or if I'm like, I'm gonna like kill somebody kind of vibes.
Right.
So we will see. But that is what I just finished reading and what I am currently reading for you today. So, as you may have seen from the thumbnail, we have tons of books to discuss today in this challenge for reread, rewrite, or burn. So we're gonna be fast moving through this video, but let's get started. The first one on the chopping block for reread or rewrite or burn is Rebecca Yarros's Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. And I'm just gonna say it for all y'all in the comment section. I'm gonna say Fourth Wing is a reread. I'm gonna say Iron Flame is a rewrite, okay? Fourth Wing, I think, can stand on its own. If I'm being honest, like there's a part of me that would like to rewrite this to make it better, to make it a little bit more cohesive, to make it a little less like Violet being like, to be honest, like being a little bit of a horn dog throughout this whole thing.
Run away, I've got to.
But I also kind of agree with her because every time that I would see Xaden Ryerson, I would also be like, my gosh, he's beautiful. Like I would, if I was doing like the inner dialogue that we're hearing from her in this book, I would also be like every like 5 seconds just being like, oh, damn, he looks good. Like, to be honest, like that would be me.
What's wrong with her?
She's crazy. He's gorgeous.
Like I would do that too. So honestly, for me, this is a reread. Iron Flame though is a strict rewrite. Like this book should have been rewritten. I think the pacing's off. I think that the writing is poor. I just think this needs to be a full rewrite. Am I so excited for Onyx Storm in January? Yes, I cannot wait for Onyx Storm to see what happens with my baby Xaden. For all y'all who know, cliffhanger at the end of this one. But anyways, so yeah, this one's going to be a reread. This one's a rewrite. Next on the chopping block, we have Alex Astor's Lightlark series. As of right now, this might be controversial. Lightlark is a rewrite. Nightbane is a reread. And Skyshade is burn. Burn this book. Burn it to the ground, okay?
Burn it.
What?
Did I say stand there and look stupid? No, I said burn it.
I've said my piece about how much I dislike Skyshade, okay? I'm sorry, guys. Skyshade was one of the most disappointing reads of the year. I expected brilliance with this book. I expected results. I expected like there to be some semblance of a plot. And I felt like we got none of that. It felt rushed. It felt too fast. It felt like we didn't get to just like enjoy the moments between our characters. I just felt like we were rushing through to the end. And I hate that. And I hate that it is like this because I loved Nightbane. I feel like Nightbane, we actually like spent some time. Like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely fast paced. Like, it's super fast. But I felt like we still like spent time like getting to know Graham and getting to know like Isla and like getting to know Oro even. And like, ew, Oro, but like whatever. And then also like, in my opinion, I think Lightlark is good. I just think that like, there's a couple of things I would change about it. I also like think that the series is decently written, but I just want to write it better, if that makes any sense. Like, I love the concept. I just wish it was better written. And I think this one's okay. Like, don't get me wrong. I still really enjoyed this one, but like, I just want to make it like better.
How would that move?
Oh, like you could have done it any better.
It's still good. Like, I just would rewrite it. And I liked the book. I just want to rewrite it. This one, though, this one, I'm burning it to the ground. I'm burning this book. I would never have published this book. I like burn this book to the ground. And this one is a reread. Okay? Nightbane is the only reread in this trilogy for me so far. Listen, I'm not here to beat a dead horse, so let's just say it for the last time. Rewrite, reread, burn it. Burn it to the ground. I am so sick of this book. Can't stand to even look at it anymore. Moving on. Let's do Booktok's other most classic series that the third book is finally coming out this May. We've got the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. The first book, to be honest, I am going to do a reread. I would reread. I would love this book. I think it's great. I think that it is exactly what it claims to be, a YA book that just is sticking to the YA premise. It is fun, it is exciting, it is bantery, and I love the banter, and I think the banter is the most well-written part of this whole thing is because of how well the banter is. Like, I think that the banter is the thing that makes this book so successful. It is delicious to read. Whereas Reckless is a rewrite, okay? This book needs to be fully rewritten. I think that Lauren Roberts needed a filler book for this one. To be honest, I think what she should have done is instead of doing a trilogy, she should have done a duology. In my opinion, I think that a lot of authors get, especially like these newer, like new age authors, I think they get a little bit ambitious and they're not prepared to like have enough story for 3 books. I think stick to what you know. A solid duology is like the best thing you could ever read. I've read many solid duologies, okay? Like duologies that I love, like that are just so good. And sometimes I even prefer duology because like, I just think that, like, sometimes you don't need all the extra. Like, we just can get to, like, the real heart of the story with a duology. And I think Lauren Roberts should have attempted that with Powerless. I think it could have been Powerless and then Fearless, the third book. And this book could have been squashed down by half, and then the rest of Fearless could have been put with it, in my opinion. But regardless, Powerless is a reread. It's so fun. It's fast-paced. It's lovely. Reckless is a rewrite. It's kind of a hot mess, but I still enjoyed it either way. Y'all aren't ready for this. Let's get into my mother, Miss SJM. Okay, guys? This is my mother. This is Crescent City by Miss Sarah J. Maas. Now, I think that Crescent City is wonderful, and maybe that's a controversial thing to say. Apparently, I'm in a mood to argue today. I don't know why I'm, like, attacking the camera. Sorry, guys. If it comes off that way, I'm, like, actually in a great mood. I'm just really excited to talk. But here's the thing. I feel like people hate on Crescent City a lot because they're like, it's not like ACOTAR. And I'm like, well, no, duh, it's not like ACOTAR. It's its own thing. I love Crescent City. I think that the first Crescent City, Book 1, House of Blood and Earth, is a masterpiece. I think it is one of the greatest things ever written. I think that the dynamics and relationships that are built in this book are unreal. I think it has one of the most solid, strong romances, and I also would say it's a modern romance that feels attainable, with a male main character and a female main character that feel realistic, that feel like they could actually be in real life. And maybe that's why people don't like it as much, is because they're like, it's not as like glamorous as like the high fae mates bit. But I would say that this, like, I feel like this is attainable. Like, this is an attainable thing, and like their banter is attainable, and it is like realistic, and it just feels very coupley, and I love it. And I also just love the relationships that she has with her friends in this. Like, I feel like this is something for like an older person, like for a girl in her mid-20s, and I just relate so heavy to all of this. So again, for me, this book series is fantastic. Crescent City Book 1 is a reread. Crescent City Book 2 is also a reread. It barely made it into reread. I almost wanted to put rewrite, but I like it enough how it is that I don't think I'd want to rewrite it. I think it's actually decently well done, and I think the cliffhanger at the end was incredibly well done. And I think it is a really, really cool book. Whereas House of Flame and Shadow. Listen, I would say that this is the second most disappointing thing that I've read this year. The first being Skyshade, okay? The first being Alex Astor's Skyshade is the most disappointing thing I read this year. This, though, is probably my number 2 most disappointing thing I've read this year. I cannot believe I'm even saying this. Are
you crying? What's that? Are you crying? Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You're crying.
I want to love this book so badly. I really, really do. But I just think that the writing is so off for this. I just think that Sarah did not know what she was doing. I think that Sarah had a plan. And like, listen, this is my own. I'm going to get into my Crescent City theory really quickly. And if you don't want to hear it, you can just skip past me talking about Crescent City. I have a Crescent City theory. My theory is that Sarah J. Maas explained on her Instagram at one point that when she wrote Crescent City Book 3, she had an original copy. And then once she submitted it to her publisher, she decided at like the final hour, she was like, actually, I don't like this. I want to rewrite it. And she basically scrapped the whole project. My opinion is that the first, because this book is divided into 3 parts. I think that part 1 was the original part that she had written. And I think she scrapped part 2 and part 3 of her original document and rewrote those. And to be honest, they're the weakest parts of the book. I don't think that it's good. I think it needs, this whole thing needs a rewrite. If I could redo this whole thing, I would. Like, I truly think that this book needs a rewrite. You guys know this. I talk about Sarah J. Maas in every single video that I do. I think she is mother. I think she is goddess. I think that she is queen of all fantasy genre. She is my favorite author of all time. I think she's the most incredible woman to ever exist on the planet Earth. But this book needs to be rewritten. I think it doesn't do justice for Bryson Hunt, and I think it doesn't do justice for Rune and so-and-so, and just in case you haven't read it, it's Rune and his partner. And I feel like this book deserved better. I feel like it deserved a better ending for how good the first 2 were. So, the first 2, Crescent City, book 1 and 2, these 2 are a reread. This is a rewrite, a massive rewrite. It almost went to burn, but I think it just needs a good rewrite and it could be a great book. Let's talk about my favorite series while I've got them out. And don't question why I'm missing 3 out of the 8 books that are supposed to be here. I'm lending them to a friend. So this is obviously Throne of Glass by Miss Sarah J. Maas. Obviously, the greatest series of all time in all fantasy books to ever be written in the entire world. I say that with no hesitation. I say that with no flinching. I say that with absolute certainty that this is the greatest fantasy book series of all time.
I think they think I'm joking, but I'm dead serious. I don't even laugh when I say it. I'm like...
And I would reread the entire thing immediately. I'm obsessed with this book series. And if you guys are interested, I think I've decided that I want to do a full Throne of Glass reread, like in the new year. I've decided that I think it's been long enough that I haven't read Throne of Glass, even though I bring it up every single day of my life. I don't think I go one day without bringing up Throne of Glass. Like, I think I bring it up every single day, especially my husband, Daddy Rowan Whitethorn.
Are you my cousin? He my husband.
So, I think I've decided that I want to do a full reread of this series and really like go in. If that's a series that you guys would be interested in watching on this channel, please let me know down below. I think I've already decided that's something that I want to do because it's probably been about 5 years since I've read this book series. And this book series is the book series that like changed my life. It changed literally the trajectory of my entire life. It's the reason that I have a BookTube channel. And I can never thank Sarah enough for that. And also for giving me the most beautiful series like ever written in the entire world. So this whole series is a complete reread. And if you guys have not read this series, what are you doing? It is seriously the greatest piece of fantasy to ever be written on the face of the earth in the entire world. We're getting down to the final few. I know you guys are like, wow, this is a lot of books. But let's go with Rachel Gillig's One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. This duology, see, this is the example of what I wanted Lauren Roberts to do. A perfect duology. A great example of an amazing duology. A great example of what you can do with just 2 books. Like just 2 books, and it's the perfect amount of stuff, and it fits all in, and it's beautiful, and it's well written, and it's precise, and it's gorgeous. The One Dark Window duology, both of these are a total reread. There's nothing wrong with them. They're absolutely perfect, and I think that literally, like, Rachel Gillig might be one of the most talented authors to come out of, like, the pandemic. Like, I cannot wait for her new book release next year called Moth in the Night or something, or The Night in the Moth. I cannot wait. It's going to be so good. It's going to be gothic. It's going to be moody. It's going to be dramatic, just like these 2 were. Absolutely gothic, absolutely moody, absolutely dramatic. And if you have not read this duology, you are doing yourself such a disservice because it is so well written and it is so fun with one of the coolest magic systems that I've ever read. So I love this duology. This is an absolute reread for anyone who's a fan of this book series. It is so good. Next, we're doing a very controversial author on Booktok. We have Miss Colleen Hoover's. We have It Ends With Us and we have It Starts With Us. Now, Miss Colleen is very controversial on Booktok. I think everyone who started a Booktok account went through a Colleen phase where they were like, wait a minute, Colleen Hoover is such a great author. I have to be honest, I don't think I agree with that sentiment anymore. If you asked me 2-3 years ago what I thought of her, I would have said that she was God's gift to this earth. If you ask me now, I'm like, it's a little bit weak sauce for me. It doesn't hit the same way it used to. I think that like as these books have aged, they have not gotten better with time. If anything, they've gotten worse. Did I love the movie though of It Ends With Us? Yeah, I thought the movie was really fun. I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy the movie. It was a little bit of a hard watch, but I also like, Atlas was so cute. Oh my gosh. So I really enjoyed it. To be honest, I I would rewrite bits of this. Not the whole thing, but like a little bit of this. I think I would rewrite it and reworkshop it just a little bit. But I also think that like the book tells a very like important message, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I never expected in my life. So this is kind of like a rewrite situation in this one. This one I would burn. I would burn it to just completely start from scratch, or rewrite. I would rewrite or burn this one. I can't really decide, because here's the thing. I think it's a story that like could be good, but it just felt way too much like a cash grab. I just felt like she was getting the money, getting the check, getting the bag from this book. It didn't feel genuine. This one feels genuine. Even if it is like some of her intentions are misguided, it feels genuine. There's genuine intent behind this book. Whereas this one, I just think the intent was money. And it feels a little bit too much like a cash grab, and the story is not very compelling. So honestly, the final verdict is I'm going to rewrite this one, and this one's going to burn. I'm going to burn it to the ground. And again, you can disagree with that, but like, I just think that like the quality of this from this to this went down astronomically, and I just don't think it holds up on its own. So that's just my opinion though of these two. Next, we are talking about Booktok's probably most favorite series in the entire world. It is the ACOTAR series by Miss Sarah J. Maas. You guys didn't think I was going to do all 3 Sarah J. Maas books or book series in this video. Y'all were smoking crack. Of course I am. I'm going to talk about all my boyfriends and husbands. Of course I had to talk about Hunt and Rune and Rowan and Dorian, and of course Rhysand and Cassian and Azriel, the Bat Boys. Of course I'm going to talk about them. Now, if we're going off of the original trilogy, I think that this is great. I think that this is perfect. This is a reread. This whole thing is a reread. I think that it is extremely well done. I do agree that the first book, like this is a one book buy-in kind of series where like you have to get through the first book to get to the really good stuff in these two, which I agree that this, A Court of Mist and Fury is a, oops, there goes my books, is a masterpiece in writing. This book is incredible. I'm such a fan of this book. And I would say the same thing for A Court of Wings and Ruin. Absolutely stunning. And this trilogy is beautiful. And I think that it is extremely, I love this trilogy. I think it's great. I think that it is so fun. I think that it is some of the best fantasy writing ever out there. And I think it tells a very compelling and very important story. However, the fourth, the little novella, A Court of Frost and Starlight. To be honest, it's not that impactful for me. Of course, everyone lives to call this one the Christmas special. Like, it's cute. It's fun. Like, it's not really trying to be anything too intense, which is why I'm trying to decide if I want to reread or rewrite. To be honest, like, I think I want to just reread this one. To be honest, I think I'm just going to join it up and add to the reread category. Listen, it's the Christmas special. It's not supposed to be anything crazy. It does set up the last book really, really well, and for A Court of Silver Flames. And I do love how sweet and Christmas it is, and like all the sweet, and like there's like a little bit of spice in there. I think you get to see a lot of our favorite characters like relax and like have a good time, and you never really get to see them like lounging about, and it's kind of fun to see them like in a totally new environment of like, what would happen if the inner circle went on a Christmas holiday? Well, here's that book. And I genuinely like it. I think it's fun. Now, then we have A Court of Silver Flames, Miss Girl. There's so much about this book that I love, but there's also some things that I have problems with. And to be honest, I think I would rewrite this.
Oh, no. Sorry, boys. I don't sing.
Don't get me wrong. I want everybody to know that I think this is a fabulous piece of literature. I think that the topics discussed in this book are quite literally so important, so incredible, and absolutely like humbling to read. It is like gripping, it's guttural, it's horrible, but it's also like so important. It's so important. And let's be real, my Bat Boy of choice is Cassian. I am a Cassian girl, and this is his book. Okay, like I am a Cassian stan. However, I think that we get lost in the sauce in this one because we focus too much on the, in my opinion, I just think there's a little bit too much like romance sexual focus over plot focus, and I wish that we had a little bit more plot going on in here and a little less of the sexual stuff, because I think that it takes away from the heart and the impact of Nesta and Cassian's relationship that we get in this book. So again, I did love this book when I read it. I still love this book. I still think it's amazing. And there are so many moments from here that I'm like, I would get that tattooed on my body. Some of the things that are said in here, okay? Like, it's beautiful, it's gripping, it's so romantic. But there's just a few tweaks that I would reread and rewrite this one a little bit. Just a couple of tweaks that need to be made to the plot and to like really further it along at a faster pace and also at like a more like emotionally intelligent pace, in my opinion. But again, I do love this book and I love the ACOTAR series. I think it's fabulous. I cannot wait for book 6. It's going to be unreal. The last one we are going to discuss and the last books we're talking about today are Rebecca Ross's Divine Rivals, the duology, Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. Guys, I love Rebecca Ross. I think she is fabulous. I think she's amazing. And I think that Divine Rivals is one of the most well-written pieces of literature of all time. I gabbed about this one last time in my last week's video, which was historical fantasy book recommendations. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows are an excellent example of that. However, I think that Divine Rivals is an absolute reread. I would reread this any day of the week. I think it is impactful. I think it is awe-inspiring. And I think it is perfect. Perfect with a P. However, I do think that Ruthless Vows, I gave it 5 stars last year. I did give it 5 stars and I still like hold to that. However, I would rewrite a little bit of this. I think it gets a little bit lost in the sauce sometimes. I feel like it doesn't totally go with like the emotional impact of that first book. And I really want it to give. And I just felt like it didn't give like fully. It gave, but it didn't like give. Does that make sense? It was giving, but not like giving, if that makes any sense.
Wait, what?
But I also am still like absolutely obsessed with this duology and I think it's absolutely fabulous. It's still 5 stars for both of these, like absolutely. But I think I would rework this one a little bit, but it's also a reread. So again, reread / rewrite for this one. But again, I think Rebecca Ross is absolutely so talented and I think that she is an amazing author and I'm so happy both of these books exist. She's quite literally such a talent and I'm obsessed. So that is all the books that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Living Literature YouTube channel. Guys, we are so close to 1,000 subscribers. I cannot even believe it. It is so exciting. For all of my new subscribers here, thank you so much for joining the channel. For all my old subscribers, I love you guys the most. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this channel and being part of this journey. If there's any videos that you would like to see, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I hope you guys will check out all the books I recommended for you guys today. I love you guys the most and I will see you in the next one. Bye.